Gods of Olympus, witness this moment. She shall be the new mistress of the Sun Temple.
At the century feast of Mount Olympus, Apollo announced the arrival of a new muse goddess. And soon, his lover would label me as Apollo's obsessed admirer. I said nothing and never took it to heart. But I never expected that by the next day, the rumor that I desperately loved Arlo and tried to seduce him would spread across the entire divine world. I have known Apollo for thousands of years. Because Leto once had an old connection with the Night Temple, I showed more care towards the Sun Temple.
Goddess Nyx, there are 37 dream prophecies awaiting judgment today.
Leave them. Gradually, rumors spread throughout Olympus that I was secretly in love with Apollo.
I heard Goddess Nyx has always shown special favor to the Sun Temple. Thousands of years. Maybe there is truly something between them.
Should we deal with these rumors?
No need. I am simply too tired to explain. At Apollo's 100-year divine banquet, he publicly announced the new muse goddess.
Let all gods bear witness. From this day forward, she shall be the new mystery of the Sun Temple.
Apollo, this is too precious.
You deserve it.
In that moment, the way all gods looked at me changed.
So you are Nyx, the goddess of night? I heard you have been waiting outside the Sun Temple every day, chasing Apollo for thousands of years. Even an ancient goddess should know her place.
My place?
Just stay away from Apollo.
You hide behind the name of an old friendship,
refusing to leave his side. You use the duty of day and night exchange as an excuse to get close to him. Do you still want to say this is only about divine duties? At a 100-year divine breakfast, you dressed so carefully. Wasn't it just to make Apollo notice you?
Don't make this worse. Nyx and I are only old acquaintances from the temples. She has just become a muse goddess.
She is young and had some honey wine.
Please don't take her words seriously.
An old acquaintance? Would an old acquaintance send you morning dew and honey fruits every day? Would she let the Night Temple's star chariot take you across the sky? You fell drunk in Delphi, and one message from her brought you back? Apollo, I am also a goddess. I know exactly what she is thinking.
But I only found it absurd. The morning dew and honey fruits were simply gifts from Leto. She made them every day and always gave me a share. The star chariot was the Night Temple's ceremonial vehicle. It only took him along the way. That time in Delphi, I only stopped the sun god from embarrassing Olympus by dying drunk outside the oracle. Even the golden courtyard of the Sun Temple was originally granted by me for Leto's sake. My days are spent guarding the night cycle, managing divine dreams, and judging the oaths of the gods. I have no time to be anyone's devoted follower. Besides, someone like Apollo is not worth my attention.
the connection between the Night Temple and the Sun Stadium exists because of Leto's old friendship, not because of Apollo.
Enough! I have seen goddesses like you before. You hide behind ancient divine authority just to stay close to Apollo. You use the name of old friendship to drive away every goddess around him. I never wanted to say this, but as a goddess, I cannot ignore it. You despise other goddesses. You hold hatred towards nymphs and muses. Now that I am Apollo's companion, I must remove this hidden threat.
Stop. This is not what you think.
You are taking her side? Fine. In front of me, you still dare to deduce Apollo.
Watch your words.
I don't know how many disgraceful methods you used behind everyone's back. You are nothing but a shameless woman! Apollo, you have to choose today.
You told everyone I was the new mistress of the Sun Temple. Think carefully. If you stand with her today, our divine bond ends.
Maybe you can let this go.
She has just become a muse. She is young and doesn't understand the rules of Olympus. I will talk to her later. Please don't hold it against her.
A child who is hundreds of years old? So what? Apollo is willing to spoil me like a child. Perhaps you have no divine companion because you only know how to take someone else's sun god. Jealousy should be carved into your divine name. So, you mean I should leave?
Nikes. Please, do this for me. She didn't mean any harm, she was just spoiled by me. Once I explain everything, everything will be fine.
Coming and going? What kind of god can associate with the Temple of Night? Then I would have no standards at all.
The wine suddenly lost its taste.
Hermias, is something urgent? The banquet has barely started.
Such a powerful temple. They even dare to disrespect Nex. Let's leave. Who knows what insult comes next?
Hermes? What happened? The banquet has barely begun. What exactly happened?
Mother, it's nothing serious. She has lived in the Temple of Night for too long. Holding a high position, she has always looked down on others, even my muse. I only said a few words, she got angry and left.
Really?
Do you really not trust me? These gods only know how to follow power. They just want to please the Temple of Night. She is such a gentle muse. I don't know what upset Nyes.
I did not know what happened after I left, but I could already guess.
The gods left the banquet. It was not by your cord.
I know. I only wanted to remind Apollo that the dignity of the Sun Temple was built upon the balance of night and day, yet some gods are simply born foolish.
The shadow that guards the night
The second day,
waits for the sun.
a song spread throughout Olympias.
Chooses to leave.
It never mentioned my name, nor did it mention the Temple of Night. I am the shadow that watches through the night. The sun belongs to Apollo, and the newborn melody belongs to the muse he has just chosen. Among all of Olympias,
Nyx, the god of night, has the powers loved thousand Apollos at the divines of years.
no wonder she opposed the new Make a Song enter every heart.
They say she entered the Sun Temple every day under the name of maintaining the balance of night and day, but she only wanted it to get closer to Apollo.
When Apollo traveled across the sky, she sent her star chariot to escort him. When he was drunk, she even sent her servants to bring him back. Even the nectar fruit of dawn passed through her hands. How could this not be obvious?
Listen, why'd someone from the Night Temple send servants to bring Apollo back when he drink?
That is unnecessarily disgusting. A few vague songs, After being repeated by children and believers several times, they became so-called undeniable proof. By the third day, under the pillars of Olympius and before mortal altars, voices defending that muse could be heard everywhere.
In this age, how can fanatical believers like this still exist?
Apollo seems honorable. Clearly the one from the Night Temple was the one chasing after him.
The Night Temple must give us an answer.
Lady Muse, you have suffered enough. Why should the Night Temple treat you this way?
Please, do not anger the Night Temple because of me.
Stop guessing. The shadow who watches through the night in the song is Nyx, the goddess of night. She controls the covenant of night and day. With the Night Temple behind her, she is someone we cannot afford to provoke.
Those words were more effective than any accusation.
The great goddess of night. She would actually do such a thing for a sun god.
Standing in endless darkness every day, pretending to be cold and untouchable. Wasn't it just to make Apollo look at her?
The sun should shine upon all beings. Why should the Night Temple claim him for itself?
My goddess, they have already turned their accusations towards the Night Temple.
Recorded. By the third day, when everything had grown worse, the muse finally appeared again. The muse held her lyre beside the window, her eyes red from tears she had shed for days.
Thank you, As, for caring about me. I have heard of your gods and speaking verse for me. I didn't thass you. But the Night Temple is an ancient divine clan. Nutionitis holds great authority. Someone like me, a newly won deaf and muses, but cannot fight against her. Apollo and I truly love each other. He is gentle and bright. He never looked down on me because of my low divine status, and he was willing to bring me before. I do not know what I have done wrong. If my love for Apollo is the reason Goddess Nige is displeased with me, then I am willing to bow before the Night Temple. Please, let Lady Nyx bless our love.
She did nothing wrong! The Night Temple is the one at fault!
Do new gods always have to bow before ancient ones?
The Night Temple owes us an answer!
Goddess Nyx must apologize. The Temple of Night must give us an explanation.
Goddess, the temple has gathered all the evidence.
That song first spread from the Temple of the Sun. Every word the muse spoke today was fafted to mislead the gods.
If you wish, we can file the accusation at the Oath Hall immediately. Or at the very least, issue an oracle to set the record straight. Public opinion is heavily stacked against you right now.
Merely a buffoon putting on a show.
The new day-night covenant has reached its most critical stage. We cannot afford any mishaps at the Council of Gods. As for these ballads, the sacred spring, and the offerings, let her carry on for now. Once the new covenant is established, the Temple of Night will rise to greater heights. When that day comes, all the abuse hurled today will turn into reverence they offer to the night. I have waited far too long for this new day-night covenant, yet I forgot. Even a loust on a divine rope can still cause irritation. Goddess, the origin of the ballad has been verified following proper procedure. But the muse has not stayed quiet. She has spread new rumors claiming the Temple of Night embezzled sacrificial offerings. These are nothing but basest claims. Do not halt work on the divine covenant.
Nyx, this is my fault. Do not blame her. I ordered her to cease those ballads and the words spoken by the sacred the moment I found out.
I swear I will set everything clear. I will not let her misunderstand you again. She has only just received her divine title, young and reckless with her words.
Does youth serve as a shield for every misfeed?
Has no one taught her what respect and decorum mean? What do you think allows the Temple of the Sun to hold firm upon Olympus to this day? If the Temple of the Sun falls, countless other deities would readily take up the duty of raising the sun. The night never lacks flames capable of lighting the dawn. From now on, Do not bring any communications from the Temple of Sun before me without my permission.
Knights?
I intend to settle scores only after the new covenant of day and night is fully sealed.
Goddess Nyx, come take a seat. We've all been waiting for you.
Apologize to niece at once.
I'm sorry.
Are you satisfied now? It was merely a song. The gods chose to speculate blindly. Why must you be so petty?
Do me this favor. Just listen one more time.
I'm sorry. I was wrong about what happened last time. I've apologized to you.
She just cares too much about me and lacks a sense of security. I am the one who got you involved.
I've already apologized. What else do you want from me?
Apollo, for the sake of our old friendship, I helped you arrange this meeting with Lady Nyx.
And this is how you repay me? By pushing your luck? It was your muse who made Lady Nis her imaginary enemy, wrote slanderous songs, played the victim at the sacred spring, and used your followers to attack the Night Temple. You didn't say a harsh word to her, and in the end, you blame Lady Nyx for not being magnanimous enough?
Who doesn't know how much the Sun Temple has benefited from the Night Temple in recent years?
You can protect your new consort, Apollo, but you have no right to make Lady Nis suffer for her.
Making such a scene for a muse like her. Should we applaud your devotion?
The Sun Temple has only been glorious for a few years, and Apollo has already forgotten his place. What do you know? That's what they call love. Let's wait until the Sun Temple falls from face, then we'll see how undying their love really is.
Don't mind them. Just drink.
Apollo has been proud since childhood, believing all gods should look up to his light. But he never stops to think, how many of the things he has done are worthy of a god's dignity?
Nyx, Leto offers you my apology.
Apollo seems to have been bewitched. No matter what I say, he won't listen.
I have confined him to the Sun Temple to reflect. As long as he remains entangled with that muse, he is forbidden from interfering in the pact between our temples. Apollo can no longer be responsible for the subsequent affairs of the Day-Night New Pact.
Nyx, just grant me this favor. The cooperation with the temple is crucial to our Alalo. If he loses this opportunity, his wares in the Shen Middle will also be shaken. The Taiyang Impulse is willing to lead to send additional theory and additional 10 fent the sacrifice.
As a show of good faith, tomorrow's talks will be held without attendance, without the use of divine power, and I will personally vouch for it.
Agreed. Perhaps they were delayed on the way. I'll go check.
Everyone, take a look. This is the famous Nyx, goddess of night. Everyone, take a look. This is the famous Nox, goddess of night. She says she doesn't care about Apollo, but behind our black, she's already sitting at the same table as my consort's mother.
Yuri pressured Hein Temple. Leito and Sins invited her in writing.
She also threatened Apollo, saying that if he didn't dissolve our sacred unit and bow to her, the Temple of Night would sever all ties with the Sun Temple. How desperate for a mate must a goddess be, to use such methods to coerce another's consort.
Lady Muse, don't be afraid! We're all watching!
The Day-Night New Pact is about to be formalized. As a gesture of sincerity, I specifically sealed my divine power for this meeting.
What are you trying to do?
What do I want to do?
Aren't you acting all high and mighty? Don't you rely on the Night Temple to even look down on the Sun God?
Do you have any idea what you're doing?
Breaking into the sacred hall and attacking the goddess of night is a crime that warrants a trial in the Oath Hall.
Don't try to scare me with the Oath Hall. Did everyone see that? She's still threatening me even now. All I want is to be with Apollo, but she won't even give me a chance to explain.
Make her admit that she seduced the sun god.
How about this? You admitted to the water mirror that it's because you've been pining for Apollo for thousands of years with unrequested love that you've been targeting me all along. Cow out to me one more time, and I'll tear one less of your divine cropes. How does that sound? Have a dream.
Go ahead and tear her apart! Let everyone see just how stuck up she really is!
It's just that I rolled a good panity, that's all. Don't touch it!
Such a precious divine apparatus would be wasted on you if you wore it. Didn't you say you didn't like Apollos? These apology gifts that the goddess Leto sent you, you don't even deserve to receive them. Inside lay the star-patterned arm strand and the golden leaf crown that Lita sent yesterday.
Isn't this the golden leaf crown treasured by the Temple of Sun? I've heard that only the future mistress, who truly rules over Temple of Sun, is qualified to wear it.
Sure. Claiming to dismain Abelo, he secretly accepted even the golden laurel crown of the goddess's Lita, since this belongs to the saying of is now being returned to its rightly owner.
It still looks good on the muse. Unless Prince Apollo is blind, there's no way he'd take offense to the goddess of the Night Temple. Don't touch that.
It seems to be something very important. That is the final copy of the Day-Night New Testament.
Give it back to me.
So you do get anxious after all. I heard you've been pushing forward something called the Day-Night Covenant. What does it feel like to watch something this important get destroyed right before your eyes? Knights, you messed with me, so you should have expected the consequences. Continue.
Nyx, are you in there? Strange. Why won't the door open when push it?
She still refuses to meet me. Are we really gonna drive to the tunnels the sun to call? Mom, just leave this matter alone. I know what I'm doing. I've already humbled myself this far. Is she still not gonna let it go?
Push the door open.
You... What on earth are you doing?
Apollo, you finally made it. The Nyx goddess hit me, humiliated me, and even forced me to publicly admit that I'm not good enough for you. Thanks to them for protecting me, I didn't get bullied by her. You must stand up for me.
Apollo the Muse, this matter is far from over.
Yes!
And said that the document she had torn up was the new covenant of day and night that the Night Temple and the Sun Temple were about to send to the Council of Gods.
Heart of the Nightsea?
How did it end up with you?
It was given to me by the goddess of Nux.
Will she give you the heart of the Nightsea from the Night Temple?
You unfaithful rest.
You! Look at the so-called godly partner you've been shielding!
Apollo, listen to me. I did all this for you.
Get lost.
Apollo?
Cancel the Divine Companion vow.
This grand banquet in the sacred hall ultimately ended in a farce.
Make her apologize! The Night Temple must give an account!
The Night Temple hereby terminates all cooperation with the Sun Temple, effective immediately. The Day-Night Concord is hereby nullified.
As you command.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
By the oracle of Lady Nyx, all divine gifts bestowed by the Night Temple upon the Sun Temple are hereby reclaimed.
These are the very foundations laid when the Night Temple and the Sun Temple first forged their alliance. They cannot be moved!
The covenant is broken. Naturally, all must be returned.
Mother...
Now you're in a hurry?
How did it come to this?
Because you sheltered that muse. And defended Nyx to this very degree.
Why hasn't the sun fully risen today?
I heard the Night Temple has reclaimed the Old Covenant.
What a curse.
Today we address the matter of the Sun Temple's sacred hall and the destruction of the Day-Night Concord.
After Water Mirror faded, the Night Temple reconstruct the divine power vibrations within the sacred hall using the residual vow patterns. Assaulting the goddess of night, destroying the covenant between our two temples and attempting to frame her with the Water Mirror. And this is the victim you speak of? She may deny it, but she has no ground to stand on.
I just love Apollo too much. I didn't mean to.
Love is not an excuse for evil.
For spreading slanderous ballads, framing an ancient goddess, assaulting the goddess of night, and destroying the Day-Night Concord is hereby sentenced on all counts.
We were only following Lady Muse's orders. We never thought it would come to this.
You weren't afraid when you acted, but now that it's time to pay, shall be troddenly you no fear.
The nymphs who took what century of divine power at the banks of the Strex.
No! Apollo! Help me!
Her divine essence is hereby stripped. She is banished from the Sun Temple and shall be sent to the Hall of Oaths to serve her sentence.
Nyus.
Apollo finally knows what it means to be afraid.
We were deceived by the muse.
The goddess of night did nothing wrong.
Rumors spread fast, and they fade just as fast.
My lady, the Sun Temple has sent another letter of apology. Leave it.
Night refuses to leave.